Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm doing a shark deck profile. So you guys have been requesting this one like crazy because of Eternity Code, and I actually got the cards early, which is super nice to be able to have them early, and it's just such a good deck. Like, it's really fun. You look at this deck and it's like, man, I don't think that deck's going to work that well. You maybe get 1 XYZ, 2 XYZ, no. I can crank out 3 to 4 XYZ monsters every single turn with this deck, and it's ridiculous. This deck is actually the deck that I am the most afraid of for coming out of Eternity Code becoming a meta deck, because as soon as we get left and right hand shark, this deck is going to be insanely good. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon because we have some really cool rewards for you guys, like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card sent to you in the mail, or even getting a requested deck profile every single month that you are a patron. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Buzzsaw Shark. So Buzzsaw Shark is a really good card. It's one of the newer cards that came out of Eternity Code. And what it does is you get to target a water monster you control, and you get to special summon from your deck in defense position another fish monster with the same level as that monster but with a different name. And if you do, you cannot activate its effects this turn. But basically what you're doing is using it as an XYZ material the majority of the time. And then it also has the ability that you cannot special summon monster from your extra deck for the rest of the turn except for XYZ monsters, and you can only use the effect of Buzzsaw Shark once per turn. And if this card is used as an XYZ material for a water monster, it can be treated as a 3 or a 5, which is the same effect as Lantern Shark, which is the other new monster that you're going to be using to go into Valiant Shark Lancer. Lantern Shark has an interesting effect as well, that if it's normal or special summoned, you get to activate the effect to special summon a level 3, 4, 5 water monster in your hand in defense position. It accepts another copy of itself. And also, you cannot activate that monster's effect, or you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn except XYZ monsters. And you only get the effect of Lantern Shark once per turn. And if it's going to be used as a material, you can use it as a 3, 4, or 5 material, which is really, really cool to be able to do. Then I play 3 copies of Double Fin Shark. Double Fin Shark is something that I'm playing for right now until I get a copy, or get my copies of Left and Right Hand Shark, because when Left and Right Hand Shark come in, some of the cards or choices are going to change when they finally do get released in TCG. They're not scheduled to be released anytime soon, but it's something that's going to be crazy. But Double Fin Shark is a really good card because when it's normal or special summoned, when it's normal summoned, you get to target a level 3 or 4 water fish monster in your graveyard and special summon that target in defense position, but it has its effects negated, which is fine because you're just trying to get another material onto the field. It's usually a later gameplay. You don't want to do the open up this card, but it's still a really good card. Then we play 3 copies of Wind Up Shark. Wind Up Shark is an interesting card that it's actually part of 2 archetypes, which is Wind Up and Shark. But it's really easy to open up this card. And even if you don't, you can special summon 1 copy of it off of Buzzsaw, and then special summon a 2nd copy out of your hand, because it still counts as a wind up while it's on the field, which is super interesting. Because when you control a wind up monster, you can when a wind-up monster is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can activate the effect to either increase this card's level by 1 or reduce its level by 1 as well, which is really, really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Silent Angler. Silent Angler is really good in this deck. It's really, really, really good. You kind of gotta look at the card though and be like, okay, I can't special summon Wind Up Shark the same turn I summon this, because it has the ability that if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn from your hand. So something that you have to keep in mind is you have to special summon either the Wind Up Shark first or special summon this and not have the Wind Up Shark play. 3 copies of XYZ Remore. Remore is insanely good. It's basically, hey, here's a free XYZ play. You can special summon this card from your hand by detaching 2 materials from an XYZ monster you control, and if you do, you get to target 2 level 4 fish monsters in your grave and special summon those targets in face-up defense position, but their effects are negated and they cannot attack or change their battle position, and they cannot be used for XYZ summon of an XYZ monster except for a water monster, which is fine because you're usually going to use them for either Shark Drake or a copy of Bahamut Shark, which is going to summon you a totally awesome or Rebarian Shark. Then we play 3 copies of White Stingray. The White Stingrays are insanely good in here because you just have to discard a water monster to special summon this card from your hand. And it also has the ability that if it's special summoned from the graveyard, it's counted as a tuner monster, which is something kind of neat to keep in mind. Then we play 3 copies of Batunaful Princess. Batunaful Princess is really good because it's basically, hey, here's a free anything in your deck. When you summon this card, it cannot be normal summoned, or when this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can banish it to special summon a level 4 or lower fish monster from your deck. Very simple. normal summon this on your first turn, special summon Buzz Shark. Shark can target something else that you have on your field, like a Silent Angler, and then special summons out something like Lantern, and then you start overlaying, and you just get your plays off. It's insanely good. And then we play a single copy of Royal Swamp Eel. Royal Swamp Eel is basically a vanilla in here, except for it being a tuner monster, which can get us into our only synchro monster that we play in the extra deck. Now, not every single card locks us straight into XYZ summons, but a lot of the monsters lock us into XYZ summons. So that's something to keep in mind while you're playing this deck, is the Royal Swamp Eel can come in really handy, or it can kind of just be used as a vanilla. So it's still a good card, and it's a level 4 fish. So it's just kind of a tech card that I play in here. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. So Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, says if you draw this card, you reveal it, activate it, and then special summon a monster between the numbers of 101 to 107, and then use that monster as a material to go into its C version, essentially. That's basically what you do with this card. I know that's a lot of text, but basically that's what this card does, and that's what you're always going to do with this card. But what you do with this card is you basically activate it on the first card that you activate, summon this, and then summon the number C101, which is really easy to go into. And we also play in the extra deck the copy of Barbarian Shark, which makes it searchable to put it right on the top of the deck. But you have to draw this during your normal draw phase. You can't just draw it. So we don't play that much draw power in the deck anyways, so it's fine. You're usually going to top deck it. You just don't want to open it up in your opening hand, or you're usually going to have to discard it and not be able to go into your C101. But it's a really good card to just top deck. It's kind of one of those miracle draw cards. One copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's really good in here because it's just a good extender. 1 for 1 because it's like playing an extra copy of Batunaful Princess, and it just helps out a lot. Whitefish Salvage. Whitefish Salvage is really good because you can target one fish monster in your grave and add it back to your hand. You can only use the effect of Whitefish Salvage once per turn, and then once per turn, if this card in your possession is destroyed by opponent's card effects to the graveyard, you can take a fish monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Now I have to say, I don't understand the card artwork with this. I just don't. The Whitefish cards and the White Stingray cards, or that archetype, I don't understand the artwork that goes along with this. So definitely comment down below and you can see if you guys actually agree with me. Because like White Howling is a wolf. Like, where's the fish? Why does this have to do? I just don't understand. I don't understand how they go with that kind of archetype. The artworks do. So then we play 2 copies of Torpedo Takedown. Torpedo Takedown is such a good card in here. People look at this card and it's like, oh, it's just a random spell card. No, it's really not. You get to target an XYZ monster or water XYZ monster you control. You detach a material from it and inflict 400 points of damage to your opponent for each card in your hand. So if you have 5 cards in your hand, then you immediately just deal 2k to your opponent, which is really good. And then that monster gains attack equal to the damage that they took, inflicted them, and then you can manage this card and 1 water XYZ monster from your grave to draw 2 cards, which is the really good effect about this card, is just being able to draw those extra cards. 2 copies of Salvage. Salvage is really good because it lets you add 2 of your water monsters that have 1500 or less attack from your graveyard to your hand, which we play plenty of in this deck. We have the Lantern Shark, we have Double Fin Shark, we have Wind Up Shark, we have Silent Angler. I mean, the only ones, it'd be easier to talk about the ones that you couldn't get back, which I believe the only card that you can't get back is Buzzsaw because it has 1600. So that's the only card that you can't get back with Salvage. Then we play 3 copies of Generation Force. Generation Force basically just searches. If you control an XYZ monster, it lets you search your copy of XYZ Remore, and it just basically gives you a free XYZ monster, which is why you play this card in the deck. Then we play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. The Call by the Graves just basically stop hand traps while we're trying to go into all of our shark plays. So you just want to play this card to get rid of, hand traps that are trying to stop you from going to Totally Awesome or your other cards. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps, because we do play 1 trap in the deck, which is XYZ Revive Splash. So XYZ Revive Splash is a really good card because it lets you target a level 4 or rank 4 or lower XYZ monster in your graveyard, and then you get to special summon it, but its attribute becomes water, which is fine because everything we play in the extra deck is water anyways, except for 1 monster. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 1 water XYZ monster you control to special summon from your extra deck 1 water monster that's 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as material. which is fine because if you special summon a level 4, you can just go into Valiant Shark Lancer on top of it, which is really, really, really helpful to be able to just immediately summon it on top of that monster. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of the new Valiant Shark Lancer. Now, I have no idea why this card is a Beast Warrior and not a fish, but whatever. I think it's a throwback to the old copy of Black Ray Lancer because it was a Beast Warrior, but I don't understand why it's a Beast Warrior. It should be a water, or it should be a fish monster, but it's not. But what this card does is it lets you target a monster your opponent controls and detach material from this monster, and if you destroy that monster. And this is a quick effect if you control another Water XYZ monster, and if another XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, while you control this monster, you can take a spell from your deck and place it on top of your deck, which is really helpful to be able to search your copy of Rank Up Magic the 7th one. One copy of the C101, which can let you take opponent's monsters, and C101 Silent Honor Arc and Silent Honor Dark. You play both of these for the Rank Up Magic the 7th one. They really help out to be able to just summon because they're big beat sticks. One copy of number 32 Shark Drake. I never thought I'd play this in something, but this card is really good in here actually because it just helps out to be able to summon. Sometimes I'll end up with a board that'll leave me with like 4, or not 4, but like 3 leftover level 4 monsters. And I'll use all 3 of them to go into number 32 because I've already used both my copies of Bahamut Shark to fill up my board, and I'll have 3 leftover monsters, and I'll go into this card just to have like an extra monster that can do extra damage. Because when it attacks and destroys a monster, you can detach material from it, special summon that monster, but have its attack reduced by 1,000, and then this card can attack again in a row, which is really helpful to be able to just reduce that opponent's monster and do an extra 1,000 points of damage on top of another monster. And if you have a copy of your Abyss Dweller on the field, which we do play, you can actually make this card go all the way up to 33, which is really decently sized to be able to attack your opponent. Number 7, Hope Woven Spider Shark, Dragon Spider Shark is really good. I usually make this card first to detach the materials off of it for your copy of XYZ Remore, because it has an ability that when this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one other monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which can be really helpful to summon back another monster. One copy of Full Armored Crystal Zero Lancer. This card's really good too because it lets you XYZ summon it on top of a rank 5 or higher XYZ monster you control. And then it also has the ability that this card gains 500 attack for each XYZ material attached to it. And if this face-up card would be destroyed, you can detach material from this card instead. And then once per turn, you can detach material from this card. And all face-up monsters your opponent control have their effects negated until the end of the turn, which is really, really, really good. But you usually overlay this on top of your Valiant Shark Lancer, or occasionally on top of your C101. 2 copies of Bahamut Shark. I really feel like this card's going to go to 1. I really, really feel like this card's going to go to 1 if this deck goes meta. I've been saying it for a long time that this card needed to go to 1, but for this deck, I'm glad they didn't put it at 1 because this card's insane. You detach a material from this card to special summon a rank 3 or lower XYZ monster from your extra deck, which is always going to be your copy of Totally Awesome or number 71 Rebarian Shark. One copy of Full Armored Black Ray Lancer. You overlay this on top of your copy of number 71 Rebarian Shark, always. It has the ability that you can XYZ summon this card on top of a level 3 XYZ monster, or rank 3 XYZ monster that has no materials. So all you have to do is summon the Bahamut Shark, detach materials, special summon your copy of Rebarian Shark, and then once you do, you overlay this on top of the copy of Rebarian Shark. And it has the ability that if this card would be destroyed by battle or destroyed, you can detach all materials from this card. And if this card is destroyed by an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one spell in your graveyard or your opponent's controls and destroy that target, which is still pretty good. But it's just basically, hey, here's a free monster on your side of the field that has 2,300 attack because it gains 200 attack for each material it has. One copy of Rebarian Shark. Rebarian Shark just helps us by stacking our copy of the 7th one on top of the deck. Abyss Dweller because it makes all our water monsters go by 500, and it also has the ability that you can detach material from it, and then it locks your opponent's graveyard. One copy of Totally Awesome because Totally Awesome can be attributed to negate stuff. F-Zero because you can overlay it on top of monsters, 2 monsters that are not number monsters, and then it can't be destroyed by battle. And neither player takes battle damage from any battles involving it. And then when it battles an opponent's monster, you can take control of that monster until the end phase. Which is until the end of the battle phase, which is really cool. And if this face of card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach material from it instead. So basically it protects itself twice, which is cool. And then my one of tech card with the Royal Swamp Eel that I promised you guys would have a synchro is Adamancipator Risen Dragnite. This card is insane because all you have to do is use 2 level 4 monsters, which is the Royal Swamp Eel and another monster that can be used as a synchro material, and not lock yourself into XYZ summoning for the turn. And then if you have a water monster in your graveyard, you get to negate spells, which is super cool. And it's a 3k beat stick as well. So it's kind of like the rock in the bottom of the sea, which is kind of funny. But anyways, guys, that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed this deck. It's a really fun deck that I highly recommend that you guys give it a shot. It's pretty budget because the majority of the stuff is old school stuff that got released a long time ago as commons or out of like Duelist sagas or stuff like that. And everything from the new Eternity Code set is actually a common, which is super neat to be able to have a majority of the deck be common and super rares, which is really, really, really neat. Like Valiant Shark Lancer is just a super rare. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad. Definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we have some really cool rewards for you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.